All right, so example 3 is to find the median. Joe scored a 7, a 9, a 9, an 8, a 6, a 5 in a dart game. What is his median score? So step 1 to find the median is to arrange the numbers in order from lowest to highest. Step 2 is to pick the middle number, the one that falls in the middle of the list. There's a catch here because if you have odd numbers, so you have 5 or you have 3 or you have 7, you have an odd amount of numbers, you just get to pick the one that falls in the middle and you're done. Okay, so you would do step 2 and then you do step 3 and write the middle number down and say that's my median. In our example and in life, you don't always have odds, and you may have an even set or an equal set of numbers. In this class, we have 14 kids, so when we find the median of a test score, we can't just simply pick the number that falls in the middle. We have to do step 2A and step 2B. All right, so step 2A is if you have an equal amount of numbers, you pick the 2 numbers that are in the middle, and you average them. To average them, you do step 2B. So you take and add the 2 numbers together, and then divide by 2. The median is the number in the middle or the average of the 2 numbers. So if you have 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, you have an odd amount of numbers, it's the number that falls directly in the middle of the list. If you have an even set of numbers, it's the middle 2 numbers averaged together. All right, do the example. When you think you know the answer, raise your hand and then just put it back down. So if you think you know it, put your hand up so I know when we're done. Those of you who already put your hand up, you don't have to Okay, so the majority of you are done. I'm going to go on, but if you're not finished, I want you to look at what we're doing and see if you understand it once I do it with you. All right, so step 1 is to rearrange the numbers in order. And I went from highest to lowest. If you went from lowest to highest, it doesn't matter, but you need to put them in order. So I have 9, 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5. Step 2 is to find the middle numbers. We have an even set, so we have 2 middle numbers, 2 numbers that fall in the middle. Ours are 8 and 7. Step 2A is to find the average average of those two numbers. Step 2b tells us to add the two numbers together. So 8 plus 7 is 15, and then divide it by 2. You always divide it by 2 because you're always adding two numbers together. So don't get confused on what do I divide it by. It's always the same number you divide it by. Always the two added together divided by 2. In this example, 7.5 is our median score. How many of you got 7.5? Woo-hoo! Connie, what'd you get? You get it now. Wonderful. All right, so our last example then is the mode. And who can tell me from yesterday what definition of mode is? Someone, Max.
The number that occurs the most in a set of numbers.
Okay, so the one that occurs the most. So here's our example. We're going to find the mode for the high temperatures of the week, and they were 31, 29, 30, 31, 30, 28, 27, and 30. Step 1 is to group the numbers together. So group all your 30s together, all your 31s together, all your 29s together, your 28s, your 27s. Step 2 is to find the number that has the most in common. So find the one that has 4, 5, 6, 7, however many are in common with it, how many ever times you wrote it down. The one that has the most in common, the one that you wrote down the most, is your answer, and it is a mode. There can be more than one mode. So if you have 10 numbers and you wrote 3 down 3 times and you wrote 4 down 3 times, you have 2 modes. It's okay to have more than one mode. Most of the time it will be 1, but it is okay to have more than 1. So do this example. When you know what the mode is, raise your hand. You can put them down. Let's put them on. If you think you know, put your hand up. Okay, majority's done. So here we go. Step 1 is to group them, to arrange them in groups. So I write 31, 31, 29, 28, 27, 30, 30, 30. Is that what everyone did? Okay. Step 2 then is to put the ones that have some common factors. So 31 and 31 and 30 and 30, which one has the most in common?
30.
So step 3 is to say 30 is my mode. How many of you got 30 as your mode? How many of you got 31 as your mode? How many of you didn't get a mode? Connie and Miyosha, understand now? Good? Okay, questions on mode? No math to mode. Simply counting. Okay.